It's a Monster High collection tour in no particular order. Alright, let's start with the top shelf here. We have, this is a Generation 1 doll from the Freaky Fusion series, where they mix two different characters together. And specifically, this is Scream, a Banshee, and Toralei Stripe, I believe, who is a werecat. So she's got a cat tail and cat ears, and she's really cute. And weirdly, there's not a lot of dolls of Scream, so this is one of the most available dolls for that character. And she's really cool. She's got blank eyes and these little cat accessories, like this little bracelet with a cat bell, and these boots. And I just think she's really cool. She's one of the most available dolls that you'll find for Freaky Fusion. Like, she's really, really common. I'm not sure why. But when I saw this one, I think she's complete, but I'm not entirely certain. But when I saw this one, I just had to have it. What's weird though is that the ears are not like baked into the skull. They're not like part of the skull. They're kind of like a hair band. And I will say that she has some minor damage, like her hair is faded. It used to have like these tiger stripes. Anyways, the next one I have here is new Scaremaster Catty Noir, who is a pop star character. She's a werecat, black cat. And this outfit specifically, she doesn't look like a pop star because this is her going to high school outfit, because she is, of course, a high schooler, like all of the Monster High characters. I really like this one. It's not my favorite Catty Noir, but she has these integrated gloves that are very, very cute. And she has these dark burgundy accessories, which I think just really go well with the pink and silver she has going on. The shoes especially are really nice, very glittery. The haircut is whatever, and I like that she has pierced cat ears, and those are part of the skull, so you can see the difference. It's peeking out of the hair and stuff, while this one is a hairband. Alright, moving on to the G3 girls who are up here, and you can see transitions from pink over to green, and from pink cat and then green cat, so that's the logic there. Now these are G3 dolls, which is the most recent line of dolls, and I originally didn't really like them because they were not as alternative. They were more how to say, they were more colorful. They were, to me, less interesting, but they've released more and more dolls, and as they have, a lot of them have gotten way more interesting fashion. Alright, let's start with the most weird character on this shelf. This is the G3 doll for Cupid Asteria. Cupid Asteria is the god of love, the goddess of love, the child of the god of love. And if you don't know, there is a myth, a Greek myth, where Eros, the god of love, is considered like a monster that's keeping his crush, girlfriend, wife, Psyche, in the dark about his actual appearance, because love is considered one of the most powerful forces in the world and thus monstrous, and he doesn't want her to know. Anyways, none of that myth is really reflected in this doll, outside of, like, if you can see, her shoes are a bit of a marble column, and she's based on like the Cupid depictions and stuff. But this character is weird, and I'll explain to you why she's weird. I don't have her Generation 1 doll, even though it's really, really cool looking, because it's really expensive and hard to find. Now, this character got transferred to Monster High's sister franchise, Ever After High, and when she transferred, she became this entirely different character. I'm not sure why they did the transfer, they just did. But in the original, she was this bone creature with like ribcage wings and stuff. And this version, G3's version, is kind of like a mix of both character versions. So she has this much nicer, like, princess aesthetic that's more akin to the Ever After High version, but she has these bone wings, and you can kind of see them in the back there. But they're not a rib cage, they're more frilly, they're more like decorative. And I don't know, I think she's too bright. I don't like that her legs are translucent because she's supposed to be not a ghost. You can kind of see the transparency there with her shoe. But that's a personal preference. I don't like the detailing. Like the white detailing. It just looks like tattoos, but really weird tattoos. And not to say I don't like tattoos on dolls, but I just don't think it works for this doll specifically. Anyways, she was part of the Sweet 1600 birthday collection, and that transitions us to the birthday girl, Draculaura. Now, Draculaura is in G3. When the series first came out, everybody was kind of ranting and raving and saying, like, oh, she's a curvy doll. How cool is that? And I will say, I do like the different body shapes. Because if you look at the Generation 1s, they are very stylized, very stick thin. And if you look even at Cupid, who is kind of thin, she still looks different from Draculaura, who is more curvy and a bit shorter. And for the Sweet 1600 like birthday look, I really like it. I really like that her purse is a cake. I really like the frosting detailing on her dress bones. I don't know the correct term, that's what I call it. And like there's a lot of nice detailing going on, and she's a darker palette than some of the original dolls are, and I just enjoy that. The balloons in this series are really cool. I especially like this one with like the spider webbing, which is three-dimensional. Cupid's balloon's a bit less interesting, but I still like the arrow going through it. I think that's really cool. This entire series has this like poofy princess aesthetic going on, which is okay. I dislike it more on Cupid, especially because she has this tacky like candy hearts pattern on most of her clothing. I just don't think it works. She'll probably get really customized in the future. But anyways, the Draculaura doll, I might paint some details, but otherwise I'm really happy with it. And I do like the inclusion of the fan, because it's my understanding that in Generation 3, Draculaura is both the daughter of Dracula and also a Chinese vampire, so she's half Asian. I really just enjoy the aesthetics of that, and like how they include it in some parts, although I'm not much of an authority on this, but like sometimes it's not super obvious that that's her heritage. Regardless, something I'm now noticing, this is also a Draculaura doll, but the skin tone is slightly different. She's paler on this one and much more pink on this one. Speaking of which, this is one of the Skulltimate Secrets Draculauras. Draculaura is a very popular character. She has a lot of dolls. But this Skulltimate Secret is from Garden Secrets, so it's very plant themed, like garden tea party themed. And the main reason I got this doll is because I really like her hair. I like that it's a split dye with this dark purple burgundy and like this bright pink. It contrasts a lot with her usual black and pink stripes. I also really like the fashion on her and these lacy boots and the corset, and I just think it looks really neat. The transparent earrings are weird. I might paint them, but otherwise I just really like the rose aesthetic going on. The because Skulltimate Secrets has these boxes with a bunch of accessories and stuff, and the boxes themselves are gorgeous most of the time, especially this one. And like there's all these floral detailings on it, and I feel like that's going to be a really fun painting project. All right, so that's my top shelf of Monster High dolls and some of the reasons I really like them. For more details, because I'm ranting and raving and whatever, you're here anyways. This is one of the first dolls I got. Um, Pretty sure I paid way too much for it. Her handbag is broken. I won't touch it. But it is like balancing essentially. The top part is just broken. The hinge on it opens, but it's broken, so it just falls apart if you touch it too much. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure I overpaid for her because she's okay, but like I don't think she was worth. How much did I pay? Like 70 to 80 bucks? I don't think she was worth that. But I was really early on in collecting, and it was easy for me to overpay for stuff because I was just very excited. Same with Caddy Noir here. I didn't like her look that much, but she was a substitute for the original doll, which is really expensive. And I just wanted a Caddy Noir doll in my collection, so I just decided that she'll do even if she doesn't. I even bought a spare head for the original Caddy Noir doll in the hopes of switching them out. I never came around to doing it because she's a nearly complete doll and I just don't feel like defacing really pristine dolls. Just because I, I don't know, part of me, it's not sacred, but like I just feel bad. It's kind of like books. It's if it's in really good condition, I'm not going to damage it if I can avoid doing so. And for Cupid, I've talked a bit about like how much I really don't like her style. I do like that her handbag is full of arrows, and I do like that her bracelet is it's a bow basically, like to shoot arrows, or a crossbow actually. Something I find a bit weird, I will say, it's a common trope in like kids media that like, oh, there's love potions and all these different things, but in modern consciousness we're more conscious about the implications of love potions and shit. I think we can blame Harry Potter for some of that. But the fact that her gift to Draculaura is a love potion, I don't know, I find it iffy. I really didn't like seeing that. But that's my personal preference. I know it's harmless mostly. And of course, Draculaura, which isn't my favorite character, but I just really like her style most of the time. And she just looks really pretty in most of this. I understand why they make a lot of dolls of this character. She's just really good. Anyways, that's it.